Hey there, thanks for tuning into the episode. I wanted to take a moment to tell you about Anchor by Spotify. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When you're hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast to listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place, and best of all, Anchor's completely free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That is anchor.fm, anchor.fm. Now back to the episode.
Don't make me watch.
The reason for me, like, my podcast experience, bro, is usually, like, I'm coming there for a pretty particular reason. You know what I'm saying? I listen to pretty specific podcasts for specific reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I listen to the Victory, the podcast, because it's about Entourage, and I'm interested in those dudes and how they made it and the stories surrounding it and shit like that. But, so that's why I try to, for everything that we've been doing, even when I'm telling people about it, I'm telling them, like, we're really talking about creativity. We ain't really having, like, how's your day going kind of conversations, you know, which is part of it.
Yeah.
But I wanted it to be centered around some things, you know. Especially if I have other people that I'm talking to. I just try to look at it from the fan's perspective. Like, if I'm listening to the art, if I'm listening to an episode about a painter, you know what I'm saying, I'm probably looking to hear some shit about painting. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I'm listening to an episode about a fucking butcher, I want to hear about fucking salami.
Yeah.
So that's why I even try to put detailed, like, descriptions, you know what I'm saying, to highlight the conversation.
I think that's a big reason why clickbait's got such that flack on it. Is that there's so many videos that the title is so misleading to what the actual content is.
Well, even I feel that way about that second episode. I was feeling that way. Like, I put independent creative avenues and how to monetize them.
Right.
Is that kind of misleading? Like, you know
what I mean?
In
terms of it being the title of the full podcast, man.
Right, like, that wasn't
because
the whole...
if it was the clip of us describing that.
Right.
That's not misleading at all.
So it's
and how well did we explain ourselves is another thing.
Right.
Did we provide all we could have?
Right.
Because it'd be real shitty if we went all the way and then that last step we just, skimmed over. You know, like, people are like, all right, like, you helped me out and now you screwed me. Because I'm all the way up to here and now I don't know what to do.
That's why I kind of
now you're not a reliable source anymore.
Right. That's why I wanted to be sobered on this too, because I don't want to be blasted on the back burner just like, what was that? What did you say?
You know what I mean? Is a very,
like, I'll get high after
done every time.
I'll get as high as I want to as soon as I go home. But while we're doing this, I'm just trying to have it to be a focused conversation.
Right.
Because it's like, bro, you know what I'm saying? You got to give people a reason to tune in, bro. You have to provide value or they won't listen. It's like, you can only ask them to support you so much before it's like, you're not providing. Yeah, you're not. There's nothing here to support, bro. So, as long as the conversations are valuable, I'm willing to talk, bro. A lot of times, bro, I'll be giving myself shit about quitting things like coffee. I'll be trying to not drink coffee because, like, I'll try to tell myself, like, you can get through things without coffee, you know? Like, you don't, like, at some point I would like to be emotionally disciplined enough to not. I don't know, I feel like a lot of the times I'm sluggish because I'm allowing myself to be or something. Like, get up, you know what I'm saying? Give yourself some energy and fucking do something and, like, do something. And you ain't gotta be, like, feeling lazy and shit.
Yeah. I think half the battle is mental.
Hell yeah, dude, this might be more than half, bro, because
for real,
even for me to make music is like a huge lump in the throat for me sometimes.
I know these past few days, like I'm saying, from morning to night, I'm drawing.
Right.
And that alone is doing a number on my mental. But also, I'm like very, very cautious about like how much I'm eating and what I'm drinking, what I'm putting into my body, because I don't want to be sluggish. I don't want to eat too much and be tired. I don't want to drink too much and be tired. And I'm constantly trying to stay on the level of I don't want to go to sleep yet. I don't want to, how long can I make it? And yeah, the past 3 days, it's always been like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And I'm so tired, man.
Do you sleep like 8 hours or?
Yeah, probably more than 8 hours. So I'll pass out like 2 or 3 and wake up around 9. Man, that's not 8 hours.
It's not, but I mean it's good.
That's close.
6, 7 is enough to run on.
But dude, podcast shirts, Level Up Productions shirts with the podcast underneath that.
I would love to have even the providing perspective shirts.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
anything, well, bro, like, I like being creative, so if there's a different way we can do it, and if we can make money off of it, that's a fucking bonus, but at the same time,
I think having the merch there is a very smart thing to do. But when you do have fans come in, they already have something. It's not like, oh shit, it's what, now I gotta make it. No, you already have it done. So the second you do start getting fans, that merchandise is selling like hotcakes.
speaking of merch, I like that shirt.
Speaking of merchandise.
Yeah, I mean,
Here.
I would love to have a fucking merch line for every creative endeavor we embark on, but at the same time, we're kind of in the position of being poor and creative, so it's like,
We ain't got
all
much money to work with.
yeah, our ideas are just that. They're ideas. We need to fucking get Mark Cuban to invest in them or something.
What's going on?
So this is the last page I have to work on. It's amazing. So, I think everything is shaded, except for this chart. But, yeah, all we need to do is add dialogue.
I cannot figure out how I'm going to add dialogue to that. Like, do you have like a text tool on here?
No, I don't.
That's what I was wondering. Like, how do you
No,
put them
there's
in
no
the
text
text
tool.
bubbles?
There's no text tool. What I was doing is, I don't know if I'll be able to, but it's called 1001fonts.com.
Right.
And I looked up handwritten fonts
Right.
because
What is
it's 1001fonts.com, and they'll have fonts for you to choose. That some of them will have a green money sign, which means they cost money. Others will have a red, which means it's free to use. And the one I was using was free to use. And it was called like alphabetical something.
But I'm honestly not upset that you joining us, because you're into similar creative spaces that we are. So, first of all, how's that shirt fit?
It's
have you washed it?
amazing. Yes.
Is it not shrinking or nothing like
It
that?
didn't shrink. It didn't.
It's dope. I like
It
it.
looks good.
This didn't even budge.
It's not
the
fading or
logo,
nothing?
No. Didn't budge, didn't fade. I washed it like 2 or 3 times.
That's all I can ask for, man.
And a nice shirt.
It's all you're gonna ask for in some fabrics, right?
It's the best. It's like a big nightgown. I love it.
Appreciate it. But even that, man, like, I would love for us all to have our own, you know what I mean, logo and brand and fucking, and just ways to support it. Because really, that is just the way to support the brand, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah, so just like one logo of many.
Right? I mean, if we could, you mean like all of us have a same logo?
No, I'm asking, is this just one of many? Like,
Well, I have that
under the
logo.
same brand? Or...
I mean, it's really all to be determined. I got the Level Up Productions thing, which was really just to brand producer thing because I feel like it's just I'm not like a known enough person to be a brand. Mm-hmm. Chris Foster isn't like a brand, you know what I'm saying? But I could create a brand, so that's what I was thinking with the level up shit. And I don't know, the podcast is its own thing. I guess that could be supportive of it all.
And it could be produced by
right.
Level Up.
I mean, I was kind of thinking that maybe to put that as the creator as Level Up. Mm-hmm. And like, anybody, we could all have like a podcast community or something. We could all put it under one umbrella name or something.
Yeah. I like that idea.
But at the same time, I want everybody to own their own shit, you know? Mm-hmm. So I don't want it to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the owner of everybody's shit.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, like, it'd be cool to push the same line, but at the same time, everybody, I don't know. I know even the likes and comments do something for the algorithm, right?
Definitely.
So even if I like your shit,
definitely helps
some sort of
push
support.
It out to other people.
Right. And in a small, minuscule way, I'm pushing it forward. I feel like I'm on set. I'm like on set at the movie, like getting behind the scenes.
That's how
it
felt.
It's been that way for
it
a
felt
couple
like
days
being,
now.
Writing, like working on something that's actually already on TV or something. I felt like I'm in a writer's booth.
Guys, it's crazy. So like, kind of have this idea for how many years now?
Yeah.
And for it to finally,
that
like,
little fucking, them pieces of paper behind her, at least 5 years old, at least.
The one, didn't you say, Jadie, didn't you come up with the original characters?
Yeah, the original
and that was 5 years ago?
No, that was...
Oh my goodness.
That was like 7.
Well,
8,
I don't know.
maybe.
Was that senior year?
My senior year was 2016.
Yeah, that was,
would have been your
wasn't
senior year.
Wasn't it my senior year? So 2019, so it's only...
What?
I don't
For
know.
real?
Yeah. Was it senior year I did my phone, or was that junior year?
So it hasn't been that long.
Either way.
It's still been years, though.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't done
for me
anything
to think about
Yeah.
Gut and Marvin every single week, it's been a long
It's been a
time.
daily thing in my head.
Yes, I haven't done anything that long.
Yeah, so when it's put into that perspective, I think it needs to blow up.
I remember when I created Gut and Marvin, I had a project due in like 2 weeks, I think. I came up with Gut and Marvin. I painted them on paper.
Even the names.
Yeah.
The names, the
names are
designs
on
of
the original
character.
painting too. And
Dude, we need to have that original painting.
I should have brought it. It's in my room, but
There's
it's completely fine. Like, it just needs like a sleeve over it like that, just to kind of protect it. But I was supposed to have that comic. It was a short story or something finished in like 2 weeks. So I bring it back to Christian. I'm like, I have this project. We need to finish this. And it started getting crazy. Like, the idea spun out of control. We were excited. Like, it was really exciting, but we never got it finished. So I ended up writing and drawing myself
that original
a really,
story.
really stupid story and turned that in instead. And Miss Spar was very disappointed in me.
Even I been up for weeks.
Very disappointed.
In the drawing or the writing?
Both. Just because she knows my potential, I think, in my original idea, and she was very excited. And so not too long ago, actually, I saw Miss Spar at Rosie's funeral, and we had talked, and I was like, me and Christian, we still work on Gut and Marvin, and she was like really excited. So I gave her all the information, and I cannot wait for this to come out just so I can send it to her. So finally be like, here, like grade this one.
This is gonna be done tonight.
That's crazy though, man.
I've been telling
figure out
everybody
how to put that
about
text
it.
on that.
Did you get my message?
What?
So somebody had texted me, and was asking, because I was telling all my customers at Hansman's about Gut and Marvin. So I had one text me and was like, send me the link. What's it gonna be on? What's the platform? So I sent the link, and he was like, oh my goodness, I've been keeping up with this. One of the photos is actually my lock screen. Sent me a picture of his lock screen, and it's Doozy the Duck.
Shut up.
From Demise of the Petal, I swear to God.
What?
It's the last frame.
Oh, when he's smiling with tears in his eyes.
It is amazing, bro. I know.
That is crazy.
So,
a lot of people like Doozy.
It's so influential.
That's nuts, though.
That is.
I about lost my mind.
You can create something and somebody like sees something cool and it's like, that's wild.
It's the best feeling. It brings the whole meaning of why you do it in the first place. It's like, wow. And for that to be like, they don't even know what's about to happen with this. This shit looks so good. I think this might be my favorite page. Like, just look at, like...
The last panel, I love it.
The shading.
Yeah, I think that's what's crazy, bro.
It looks
just like,
so...
that's just real intricate shit that people don't quite realize is, like, goes into it.
Yeah.
Which is the case with a lot of creative things. You just kind of assume this shit
happens
fucking
in a night or something.
Comes together like a...
No,
like,
this shit is 3-4 years in the making.
Right.
And the comic book cover, like, bro.
And even just, damn, that's pretty tight.
Doozy Comics present.
Oh, shit.
Dude.
Oh, shit. It's on and popping.
And we got a cover.
That's the thing, man, is just take steps. Like, with me, I've been trying to lately just be less perfectionist about it and just be like, fuck it, put it out, I don't even care.
That's one of the things we really had to focus on while trying to get this done.
That's crazy hard to do, man, is to let go of that, like, perfectionist mindset. Because you want to, like we was talking about, you want to be a control freak and you want to guarantee its success.
Yeah.
So you try to control everything, but
cannot do that. It's very easy to, like, go back into the shit that you thought was gold and now you're double critiquing yourself and you're almost ruining what made it funny in the first place.
That's true,
I think
bro.
we were falling into that category a little bit. That and, like, coming with new ideas and, you know, not finishing when you're, like, focusing on other shit. Like, we kept having to tell ourselves, like, stop. Like we gotta finish this.
Yeah, we have to.
And if it wasn't for you, it would definitely would not have been done. Man. Like, that's added so much to the art of it too.
I'm telling you, Christian, if it wasn't for the cover, the comic book cover, like, something about that cover, I think, just got me really antsy. Like, usually I think that I would, well, not I think, I know that I would get home from work and want to lay down. Mm-hmm. And I do. Like, I don't, even if you're down here and you're telling me come down here, however many times I've stopped here on break and you're trying to show me this new idea, and, like, they're always amazing, but I've never quite felt something like I did when I saw that cover, and I kind of lost my shit for real. I think I was driving. I was like, wait, I gotta exit out of this so I don't do anything stupid.
Do you have a hard time, like, coming back to, like, writing, for example?
Yeah.
Like, even just sitting down and doing it? Do you have a hard time doing that?
100%. There are some nights that I really want to pull out my journal. It could be right next to me. I keep my journal and my pen right next to me. I have journals everywhere. And I will still tell myself that, oh, I'll do it later. Or I've had really bad writer's block ever since my Nana's funeral. So I used one of my poems at her funeral, and I think that a part of me was sort of, like, buried with that. It was like, I don't know if I have any more to say right now.
Right.
I thought that I would never write again, and people were telling me, you know, it's gonna come back to you. You'll be fine. And I'm like, I don't know. I really had no clue if I was going to. And so when Christian came to me with Doozy the Duck and wanted to do, like, a poetry comic series, it was so very exciting. Like, I was like, okay, if I can get this out of me, that means that there's something still there. Like, I can still write.
Well, it definitely was.
And so what I would do was, like, get up and I would go to Pepper Pod and I would bring my journal with me. And
oh yeah.
That was
sending me pictures of you eating breakfast. And
every single day.
I'm finishing this line because I was like, I need 7 lines. I have 7 panels. I was like,
he gave me a
it's
script.
about a flower, and I need it to be sad.
I'm like, how deep do you want this to go? He's like
deep.
oh, deep. I'm like,
don't make it.
Are you sure?
Like, it's deep. And you couldn't have made it any better. Like
it was out of the ordinary
words
for
to
sure.
make that better.
How do you go to a public place and get creative like that? I don't feel like I could do that.
I think that if anything, it makes me more creative.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I start with entries and I get everything, all of the excess out first, and I kind of write down like what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, how I feel, what happened. Sometimes I even write like it's my diary. Like it can be really cheesy. It can be really kind of stupid. Like
you said you try to like get things out first before you can even get to like what you're trying to say. You gotta like, get some shit out of the way.
Sometimes I don't even make it as far as to getting everything out, and so I don't finish any poetry. Sometimes I try to start on the poetry. It doesn't always work. Mm-hmm. Usually I write most of my poems at night. Probably every single one of my poems at night when I'm alone. And it's not when I'm in a good place mentally, which is really interesting.
Right.
It's very interesting. It's like this cycle of kind of self-sabotage sort of bringing me back into that space just so I can write. It's kind of toxic because I think part of me believes that I have to be sad in order to create the best art. And I know we've talked about this before, but my goodness, it is so true. Like, I have written my best poems that, in my opinion, my best poems in like my darkest times. Mm-hmm. It sounds really cliche, but it's actually true. Like,
well, because it's all a coping mechanism.
Right.
So it's like, how much you gonna cope to that? If you put yourself into that bad mental spot, then you're gonna need a lot of coping, which equals a lot of writing, which equals good shit.
I look at it like you're dope at what you do, and you gotta kind of get out of your own way long enough to show that for people to see it. But I feel like a lot of times me, like how we were just talking about writer's block, almost just creativity block in general, is because I'm very self-critical. I'm like almost blocking it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like with my own negative
blocking the
thoughts,
good shit
I'm blocking it. Yeah, like, so I don't know, man. It's super weird. I have like a huge thing where I'm like, I don't want to sit down and make music sometimes. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like I'm poor and I need to do it. So
I need to make it out.
It's pretty conflicting.
I feel that a lot.
It is conflicting.
But like you said, most of my productivity comes now when I go home at 2 a.m. and I'm drinking coffee and I'm like fucking Bruce Almighty on the fucking computer. Let me ask you this.
How it is.
Let me ask you this. Does your all sometime productivity like come out really like a lot? Sometimes
quickly,
even when
in a
you're
short span, yes.
Yeah, but sometimes even when you're not up for it, like sometimes I don't even want to sit down, but it seems like I could get some shit out probably tonight if I did sit down. But it's like it just seems like a chore sometimes. It's like, you know what I mean?
Because it's work.
Yeah.
It drains you.
And it's emotional work.
I've been so drained out of it.
It's true. There's one poem that I think I finished in the span of 6 months.
God
and then the poem that I just wrote was finished in 15 minutes.
That's crazy, dude.
It's
crazy.
That shit, and then you sent me another fucking version of it.
Yeah.
With way
like
more
3
shit
minutes.
added to it within 3 fucking minutes. It was
Those are the best nights though, bro, where you just, you know what I mean, you look back and you're like, man, I just unleashed some shit. Like,
right.
Even when me and you were talking the other day, you said, man, my head just feels clear.
Exactly.
Which is like, yeah, I related. When you said that, I was like, damn. Because this is therapeutic in a way. Even coming down here and having conversations is therapeutic for me.
You don't get it. More about the people you're having it with too.
Right.
Because sometimes you have these same conversations with someone else and it can be annoying, man. Yeah. People will just make jokes about it, and you can tell when someone's uninterested.
Most people, I I don't know.
I think we're all going through a similar struggle.
Yeah.
We all got this creative thing that we're so passionate about. I think we all have so much love for what we do.
I feel like all the shit I do comes from the same place. You know, like all the ideas that I do are come from the same place.
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't. I don't know if it's a place of like passion. I don't know really what it is. Sometimes I feel like I have access to it though. So I'm like, let me do it while I'm here, and then let me just go back in my tunnel afterwards. Like, tuck away, smoke some pot.
Pot definitely helps.
Sometimes
it helps me focus.
Like, sometimes I feel like it gets in the way for me though. Does it?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like it gets in my way, bro. Like sometimes I
too
feel
much,
like
maybe.
Yeah.
You do it a little too much. Yeah.
It makes me just relaxed, chill. Like I'm not thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
My brain is not active when I'm super high.
Yeah, it puts me to sleep, so I get nothing done.
Yeah, it does to me too. I was telling my dad the other day, I don't really get the sativa indica thing no more. It's all indica for me. Every time I smoke, I'm tired. But I do have sometimes, I guess, where I get blasted and I'm like,
Fucking motivated.
yeah, just hella energy for some reason. I don't know. Could be the day. But I also like to think I don't need it. Even coffee, I don't feel like I shouldn't be drinking it.
I know I need coffee. Every day.
Huh? You said you know you need it?
Yeah, this is my third one.
I don't like that. I don't like to know I need anything, you know?
I'm okay with it.
But what if you don't have it one day? Do you think you can still be creative? That's what I worry about. It's like, I got some kind of time limit on this, and like, I'm always in that state of, it's not good.
I don't really think about it. I don't think I'll never have it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, right. You got a coffee pot, fuck it. I'm good. It's like having a fucking Colombian drug house in your kitchen. So what is left to do on the issue?
I have one small little page left. When I mean small, I mean small. Because you look at this page, this motherfucker right here is hard, bro. He is hard to draw. And another reason why I struggle so much is, how I said I've been working for like the past 3 days. Well, the past day, I haven't had my pen. I lost my little pen. So like half of this thing is drawn on my fucking finger.
That one?
Yeah, I lost that for a full day. I just found that like 3 or 4 hours ago. But that wasn't drawn on my finger, but this whole fucking page was all done with my little finger. I think this whole page was done with my fucking finger too, dude. I was pissed. And it just kind of like really, it didn't stop anything, it just slowed it down. Like,
You don't stop nothing.
say if I was to draw that with that, I could just go like that.
Right.
But with my finger, I gotta go like that.
Right.
And do everything so much more.
Very tedious.
Yeah. So it's almost like tripling the time.
But that's the kind of shit that real people who do what you do respect about it. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
The intricacies and shit like that, the little tiny things.
Yeah, I think
Shading.
artists will really look at this and go, damn,
Right.
this dude put in a lot of work. This
Yeah.
must took weeks.
And they know the
I've
shit
just
other
been
people don't
doing
know.
that, like every second of the day.
Like movies,
It
we
looks so good.
take for granted what really goes into making a movie, you know?
It looks so good, dude. I love it.
It does look good as fuck. It looks professional quality.
He's
It
got a
looks high
jar of
quality.
eyeballs up here. And there's a bunch of little shit. Like, you got Marvin's cup. It's bigger than Guts.
It's going up here.
I don't know.
Easter egg. It's an Easter egg coming.
Gabe just made an animation.
What?
Damn, all you motherfuckers be doing shit, don't you?
I took a picture of it because I kind of want to add him to it. So this is his guy. His name is Whale Walkman. But it's an animation, and he's going like that, and it looks pretty cool.
Gabe was talking to me about
he made like a beat.
his own sort
he made
of
a song about
world.
Marvin. Have you ever heard it? It was like, Marvin, what's in your head?
I think I've like heard a snippet of it, but
Good.
I haven't heard the full song.
We have a Gut and Marvin song.
That's nuts.
We got a song.
That's nuts. It's cool. Honestly, like I don't even. A lot of times I try to just appreciate. I try to detach myself. It's easier when I look at y'all doing shit, but I try to detach from the results and just appreciate how cool the decision. Yeah, like the moments are. Mm-hmm. It's hard. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just, for some reason, you're allowed to feel it. Like sometimes you can't feel it, but sometimes it's like, oh yeah, y'all are doing some cool shit. I can see it.
That's how it's felt. It's very, just so surreal. I didn't expect it to happen this way, this time. I don't know why I started to draw that. It just kind of came out of me. And then I showed you, and you're like, you were fucking here, ready to just work.
It's really hard working full time in between, but I promise you.
She was here right before work.
The whole day. That's
today, yesterday, right after work, and then before. No, because yesterday I didn't have work, but we did like all morning.
Yeah.
Yesterday
I brought you
all
up
morning.
To my place.
Went to her place and worked on it. Day before that, with 3 or 4 fucking hours of just writing.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna pay off. There's no way it can't. You know, something
well,
like
what's your
this.
payoff, bro? You're setting your own expectations right now. You know what I mean? So what's your payoff?
My payoff is a fan base. Like I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking for that yet. It's more like it has to be noticed.
But what does that mean though? You want like a certain amount of people to send you a thumbs up or something? You know, like what is the thing? Like what is it? You know?
To make me happy, I'd be happy with 100. Like that would blow me the fuck away. But I think it's gonna get more. There's no way it can't get more. Just I have so much knowledge into what Doozy, the outcome of what Doozy had, and it's nowhere near as in depth as what this is. I didn't even highlight or add shadows to that. There was no speech. It was a very simple story about a duck who got hurt. That's it.
Right.
This has jokes. This is
right.
a house design. The backgrounds, the expressions, the character designs are way more fucking eye-grabbing. And yeah, I've had so much love and support from what Doozy was. I just know in my heart there's no possible way that this is gonna let me down.
You know what's crazy for me though? When I first started making beats, I was kind of doing it like a very uneducated way. Like I wasn't really playing a lot of the instruments or nothing. Mm-hmm. And I was getting more attention than I do now. Now that I actually do everything, you know. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's kind of weird, you know, because you think it wouldn't be that way. Because you start putting that extra effort in, you think there'd be some kind of recognition, but I don't know. Hopefully there is.
Yeah, I could be definitely setting up my own failure with my expectations. But I remember it didn't go up from there.
It's so weird, ain't it?
But it literally, I doubted myself so much, but then I opened my phone and it was like 2K views in an hour. I was like, and everyone was fucking with it. I'm like,
bro, did it stop?
I was giddy.
Did it stop when you looked at it?
Yeah, the good feeling, it normalized, you know, which is nice, because you don't want to, you know, you can't stay in that state of,
right.
Oh, yes, it's mine. Like, eventually it does die down, and every time it does, it sucks.
It's terrible.
Because it's like,
it's
if you smoked a joint and that high went away.
It's exactly
You're like, what the hell?
It's a certain stimulation you ain't getting anymore. It's like...
And it's a weird kind of thing. This isn't like you smoke a joint, you'll be high for an hour or two. This is, no, you gotta work creatively, and you might have 5 minutes to an hour of good time. Like, you might stay in a motivated state for a day or a minute.
The lines
it's a ball game, man.
The lines are very blurry, creatively.
But I'm trying to get used to that, come down to that, okay, the high's away, and that's a good thing. Because when you're in that high, it's almost impossible to create. Because you're in that high, you're giddy about it. And when you don't have that high, I think that's when you're working to get it. You know?
I like having a lot of things in the bank. You know, I like in those moments where you are very productive. I like being as productive as possible. So the moments you ain't, it's like at least I got this I can put out. You know, because I was working that night.
Yeah.
Even with the podcast, bro. Like we've done it like.
We're sitting on episode 3.
Yeah, like 3-4 weeks in a row. So
which feels nice because we already have something out before we're recording this. You know.
My whole thing is like, bro, you can put something out, right? But you don't know, like you can believe in it wholeheartedly, but you just don't know how it's gonna resonate. You know. So if somebody actually does find value in it, that's what you hope for. You know? So let me ask you this, Jadie. How have you, as an unbiased opinion, interpreted have you found like there's some actual pieces of value in the podcast episode? You don't have to lie about it.
I'm not lying 100% for sure. It's conversation that I think I'd, not only like to be involved in, but I'd like to listen to. I spend my time listening to conversation and thinking about conversation a lot.
Right.
The fact that it's a podcast, to me, it's very unfiltered and sort of authentic in a way. You don't really get that a lot with podcasts. There's always a script, there's always an ad, something going on behind the scenes, or it kind of ruins the whole feel for me, the authentic feel. With your podcast, I feel, when I told you I listened to you sent me the link to the 3rd episode. I listened to that, and usually during podcasts I think I'd, look at my phone here and there, or, I don't really know where to look, so I'm just like, I'll do some really random stuff while listening to a podcast, but when I listened to that 3rd podcast, that's when I stopped to listen. I didn't think about what I was looking at. I didn't have to think about anything because of what I was hearing, and that's what I look for in a podcast. It went really well. I really liked that episode. I really did. There's a lot.
The 3rd one's a banger.
The 3rd one?
Yeah.
Because you said the 2nd one.
I thought I haven't listened to the 3rd one though.
Right.
I listened to a few seconds of it. But I remember we recorded them back to back, and I know the 2nd one. Before we didn't record it, but we had a great conversation.
Dude, we had a crazily captivating conversation for fucking 2 hours that we didn't record.
We sat from across the room,
super energized, and I almost.
We should have recorded this.
I almost feel like
it flew fucking by too.
Right, but I almost feel like it's salty. It kind of makes me salty because that's what it should be like when it is.
It's the most authentic.
Yeah, that was super authentic.
I forget that we're even recording it until we bring it back up.
Honestly, I can't forget for some reason. I can't forget.
Well, I know it's your phone and it's only 60 minutes.
Right. But I'm glad that even tonight I brought a couple websites that I picked up before, which is super dope. You definitely should check those out.
I think this is really helping me out with talking.
Right.
Because every time I try to talk on the mic, it's like there's a different voice that comes out. It's not your real voice, It's like a fabricated version of it.
Do you feel like you get full therapy, creative therapy with your art? Like, do you feel like you get everything out creatively with that? Because I don't feel that way with music. I don't feel like I get everything out with that.
See, and that's where it falls in the line is feel like comics isn't just art. It's writing. It's
true, bro.
Cinematography. Like when you think about a panel, you got to think about the light source.
Right.
What are you showing? What's the main focus? Where's the speech bubbles going to go? And it brings in such different avenues, and it is really more than art. You know, I think I heard Quentin Tarantino say a movie is like everything. A movie has music. A movie has drawings.
Right.
A movie has dialogue. A movie is every art medium into one.
Right.
And as a creator, you just want to be the best at everything. You want to just like, be able to express yourself fully. And for me to look at a single piece of paper, I can't express myself fully with that.
Right.
There's not one piece of art that I can express myself fully, but across the thing where it's a story.
Right.
You know, you watch someone develop over time. That's so captivating to me. Like, I love cartoons. I love video games. I love that shit as a kid. And I think with my talent with art, that's the best way for me to go with it. A lot of artists are just amazing at art. I'm not amazing at art.
That's true. You wear many hats.
Yes.
It's out of necessity too, like just wanting to be successful and you just have this thing, but it's like, well, to be able to fucking be successful, I gotta wipe my ass and fucking blow a bubble with gum or sing or whatever. I gotta walk and talk, so you gotta be able to do multiple things.
Right.
And you also gotta market your shit, which is, you know what I'm saying?
It's something I've kind of blessed with. I mean, when in high school, I was video editing just random shit. I fell in love with editing videos, which has now
huge experience.
Helped me
huge experience
with promoting my comics and shit, and that's gonna help with this. Like once this is done, motion comic books and everything, man. You see how long I milked Doozy the Dope.
You're
this
really
thing don't get milked. like I want like,
bro,
every day just.
You're really your own marketing agency. Like, you know, you're really your own. You gotta market your shit. Like, this is something that if you were assigned to somebody, they would do that. You know, they would have a team for that.
And it's very. I think that's a huge part of what I like is that interaction with the fans. I like to post a video and what does that guy think? What does that guy think?
Right.
I love that. I love being able to.
You ever go live?
I haven't been able to.
Instagram though.
Instagram I could, but I haven't.
That'd be dope, bro. That'd be an interaction, you know?
It would be dope if I could.
And that could drive some TikTok
get on
audience.
Live and have my iPad up and while I'm making
exactly.
That'd be dope.
And that's even cooler, like we was talking about, bro. It's one thing for you. It's one thing to have Picasso have a painting or Michelangelo have the painting, but imagine to be able to have the footage of him painting that. You know, that people would probably go nuts for that.
Right.
Which is what you have. It's like this is the creation. It's like how Wiz and them do like their day-to-days. They record their life outside of music. It's on YouTube. Mm-hmm. It's the same idea. That's shit people that's fans of you eat it up.
Right. I fucking love this iPad, dude. Like, look. This is how it started. So I went over, did a little.
This issue?
Yeah, this is the first fucking panel. So we go in, and I drew it, and that was it. Because I drew it with my finger. And I was like, fuck, man. I made all these lines, like, too thick. Because if you go in and you look at, like, the reference I had, them lines don't match up. Right, so I said, fuck it. Okay, I'll redraw it. No biggie. I'll just redo all the work. I was like, okay, I went so far, and then I had to go back and outline everything. God, yeah. And then you just watch it all come together.
It's fucking crazy.
The news bubble.
It's so dope. Could I have the news bubble up here, or is that good?
That's perfect.
That's the right type of yellow?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to say what? Like, on this episode, the snail's going wild. And then, like, dude, I love this so much. Like, when you cut to it. When you see this shit, bro.
Bro, let me know. I'll post it up.
Like,
when it comes out.
Like, look at this.
Snails going wild.
Snails
Some freaky snails, man. There's some freaks.
Like, I was thinking, like, I could even add, like, maybe beer bottles next to them, or, like, a bikini. I don't know.
So,
but I typed in, because I was trying to, like, get a picture of Girls Gone Wild to, like, edit it. And I didn't realize it's actual porn.
Yeah.
It's
what,
like
Girls Gone Wild?
That's all it is. I thought it was, like, maybe a reality TV show.
Girls Gone Wild?
Yeah. No, it's strictly porn. It's not like porn.
Sure?
Yeah.
Maybe I was
It's not a reality TV show, Jadie. There's no acting in it at all. It's porn.
I mean,
it's straight up porn. That's it.
I was like thinking of Buck Wild or something.
I was
like
thinking
that.
of like, Jersey Shore.
Yeah,
like,
so was
but with
I.
titties or
right,
something.
right.
But Dad did come up
This
with
is
that, so.
full blown hardcore pornography. Like, this is real shit. Like, there's not a single covered up lady in that.
Is that bad?
It's a little bad.
It is.
We could change it from Snails Gone Wild to Snails Go Wild. I mean, Rugrats Go Wild, they did it.
I didn't know it was.
It's straight up porn.
I didn't know
Like,
it was.
no, it's yeah.
it's not a kid's comic, though, is it?
No.
No, but we want kids to be able to read it.
Right.
It's
right.
like.
We wanna kind of touch that line.
Christian compared it to the regular show. And
You've
that's a
never
really
seen
good
that.
comparison.
Never,
Or
Very good
SpongeBob
show.
in a way.
SpongeBob definitely has some fucking dark. I mean, you see SpongeBob watching quote unquote porn.
Right.
He's like, you see like real life sea animals, and he's like, and Gary walks in and he changes it real quick. He's like, Gary, I was just watching the football game.
Even like Disney has Touchstone Pictures, which is their like
Very.
it's their vulgar production company. Like Touchstone Pictures is they do the shit that Disney don't want to put their name on, but it's still Disney.
It's weird how some shit gets passed.
What do you think? Do you think we should?
I think it's fine. I think with the pictures, I think it's fine. I think we have maybe Snails Go Mild. Snails Going Mild.
Snails going mild.
So it's like not that obvious, but it's that obvious.
It's staying.
But to
it's
kids,
sticking. Once this issue comes out, there's no
it's
changing that show.
Man,
That show
put it out, man. Fuck it.
and I edited that. I looked up hot tub, and then I got like free snails.
That is
Like you see these two snails are walking that way, but then now they're going up to that one laying down. I was gonna have it like in the second part of the TV, like there's gonna be like pixelated parts of the snail.
that would be funny, bro.
Like two circles right there, pixelated.
I don't mind.